to the front.
Okay, everybody. Big E is definitely in the building.
What's up, y'all?
Dante is definitely in the building. Big H is definitely in the building. And I'm Soup. And welcome to Superstars of Sports. How y'all feeling today?
We're doing good, but before we get into how we feeling,
Alright.
we need y'all to do three things. Like, comment, most importantly, subscribe. It takes nothing to show some love. Just a quick like, quick comment, quick subscribe. We're going to tell y'all every week. The quicker we get you to do it, the quicker we can get right into the topics that you want to hear about.
We definitely appreciate the 70 subscribers we got in our first week.
All of them.
The goal is to get 100 a week, so hopefully in 10 weeks we'll be at 1,000.
If you like us, share us. You know what I'm saying? Just tap that share button. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever social media you use. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment. Appreciate y'all.
Please.
So we're going to start it off this week. Yo, Tay, what was your record last week with all the picks?
Went 11-5.
So a nice winning percentage right there.
Alright.
That gets you in the playoffs every year if you're playing football.
Right.
Anybody that won, please DM us, let us know. Let me hold something.
Let me hold something. Yeah, we giving out free picks. Usually these stations try to charge you, have you call up certain numbers, pay a certain amount. Nah, we giving out y'all top picks for free. So let's get into what we got this week.
Alright, so we're going to start off by NBA.
Okay.
So, first game, I like the Nuggets versus the Rockets. Nuggets are home. They've been on a little drought lately. My thing is with the Nuggets is they mostly, now Jokic is going to get his money.
Yeah.
They're still missing Murray.
Yeah.
But it's mostly like they're hoping Michael Porter Jr. has a great game every game for them to win.
Okay.
As I've been watching them. But again, you're playing the Rockets.
Yeah. They playing with draft picks again already.
Right, so they're not really looking to win. So I love the spread for the Nuggets.
What's the spread?
I'm not sure. None of it was up. So I
Whatever the spread is,
right.
Denver's bowling them out in Denver.
Rockets?
Yeah, they play the Rockets.
Probably 13.
Right.
Probably 13 and a half.
13, 11.
Yeah.
12.
I mean, Jalen Reed's been putting up buckets, but he ain't doing nothing but win. Eric Gordon's not having a good year. They're still waiting on what they're going to do with John Wall.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My next one, I like the Suns home versus the Hawks. I like just the money line.
Just money line.
Just the money line. I mean, you can't. Hawks have a deep team, deep bench.
And Mikal Bridges is going off this year for Phoenix. Shout out to Philly.
Yep.
Nova.
But it's the Suns, the team that just came out of the finals.
Yeah.
I think they easily beat the Hawks. And they play great at home.
Yeah.
Nice fan base. Then my next one, I like the Warriors home versus the Rockets.
We just smacking up on the Rockets.
Right.
Lay your money on all the teams against the Rockets.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the spread or you can do the over.
No defense.
No defense, a lot of threes.
Yeah. Steph
Warriors,
going for 40.
Probably the best team right now. Scoring. Curry, you got Jordan Poole out there.
Yeah.
That can surprise you, drop 30. I mean, he did it last night easily. Yeah, I love that. The next one, I like the Jazz over the Magic. They are away.
They going
Magic.
to Orlando?
Yeah, they're going to Orlando, and Magic, they're playing for draft picks too.
Yeah.
They're young, they're not bad, but Utah.
Wagner's playing pretty good. Wagner, how you pronounce his name? Wagner.
Wagner.
From Michigan.
Yeah,
Wagner. I think
his brother.
He's German, so I think he
Yeah.
pronounces it Wagner.
Yeah.
Suggs still trying to find his way.
Right, Mitchell's balling.
Yeah, he is.
He's taking over. I know Conley's playing point guard, but he's taking over that kind of role to bring the ball to the court, and they're running that pick and roll with Gobert.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I love the spread on that. And then my last one. This is a tight one. I like the Knicks versus the Cavs. The Knicks are home. They play way better at home.
Yeah.
Now the Cavs are a sleeper team because for some reason they do play good against great teams, away or home.
Good center, good rookie center for Cleveland.
Kevin Love is doing his thing off the bench.
Yeah.
Garland, Saxon, Mobley.
Yeah, Mobley.
Jared Allen's actually playing wonderful at the center spot, defensive side.
Yeah.
He's balling.
But I think the Knicks play way better at home.
In the Garden.
Fans, they're going crazy.
Yeah.
So I
Spike
like
Lee.
the money line. So yeah, I like that.
So you staying away from the points in that game?
No, I'm staying away from the points because Cleveland they don't give up. I can tell you that.
Right.
You look at all their teams that they played, Clippers. They beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
They beat the Clippers, I think.
Yeah.
So they were away. They were traveling. So
you're
they
going with the Knicks to stay away from the line.
Yeah, money line. Moving on to college. It's a little too high for me, but I still like it because it's Georgia. I love Georgia versus Missouri.
Okay.
Missouri has gave up, I think they averaged 35 points given up, loud. And you know Georgia's home.
Yeah.
That defense might have the best defense. I think they blow them out. They might don't even give up points. It might be a donut. I think there's been 2 games this year that they let a team not score on them.
What's the line though?
It's 38.5.
So you don't want to see that down a little bit?
I don't think you can tease college now.
Okay.
I think it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Or to play it safer, they do play great all quarters. So you can do the first half spread. First half spread probably be like
17,
maybe 17 and a
20,
half.
yeah.
I like either or. Missouri's not that good. They just came off winning, I think, by 4 against some team.
So let me ask you, on that game, you're taking the money line or
No, the Georgia.
I'm
I'm taking the regular spread 38.5 or the first half spread.
Okay.
It's either how you feeling.
Yeah.
what you think about the over under on that game?
Georgia's going to score. I just don't think Missouri is going to score. I
Okay.
think they do. The most they'll probably score is 14. The Georgia defense is crazy.
Yeah.
And they're playing home.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be packed. So it's
I
a
got
little tough. I lost this one last week, but I'm riding with them again. I love Pittsburgh.
It caused me my take last year. Even though the quarterback threw for 500.
When we started group sex, he was going so crazy about that Pittsburgh game. I'm like, yo, you fucking lost.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, the quarterback threw for 500.
I was like, yo, like,
that's the point. The quarterback threw for 500.
No, fuck that.
But
that
the
nigga said
defense-
so many times about this Pittsburgh game. I was like, yo, you lost. Especially when you start getting hope, like, they tied it up.
They did. They came back and tied up in the
They came
third.
back and then
You lost.
They just
Yeah,
lost.
but they did a whole bunch of trick plays on them
Yeah.
out of the blue. I don't know.
Who Pitt playing this week?
So they play Duke. Duke is terrible.
Yes, they are.
I think like
They
3
get
or
ready for
4
the basketball
3 or 4
season.
games
How
they've
about
been blown out.
They just got blown out last week, didn't
Wake Forest, I think, dropped 40 on them.
Yeah.
And Wake Forest, they're all right. A lot of the games play close, but they dropped 40. I don't even think Duke scored.
Right.
It's minus 21. I like it.
Pitt plus the 21?
Yeah, and their offense is not that good, so I believe, and Pitt hasn't allowed more than 17 points a game. So
you're taking the spread on this one.
take a spread.
Pitt
All
in
right.
the spread again.
Okay.
You do. Yeah, I'll ride through. I wouldn't do first half.
Now, who plays for Pitt that you know?
The quarterback, the Heisman.
Y'all know him personally.
Keep going. There's a lot of research on this side of the room.
Keep going.
When you see the Eagles pick them, don't say nothing.
shit.
Like, yo, remember that dude?
No, I'm talking shit, but I'm betting with him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely betting with him.
I'm just not texting.
So my next one, I like Michigan State, coming off a fire win versus Michigan.
Mm-hmm. How about that?
Yeah.
Some hardball might be done, but go ahead.
Right, it is away. It's -3 versus Purdue. Now Purdue's not bad.
Purdue's
they
not bad.
beat
Purdue has a defensive end that could go in the top 10 of the draft.
They beat Iowa, and then after that, I think they went downhill a little bit. But -3, I love it any day.
Are you not scared of Michigan State's emotional letdown after beating Michigan the way they did last week?
That could be possible because they could be too hyped because they just have this win. Now that's why I think it's so low, and it's also away because Purdue has beat Iowa, so they have beat the top team that's in the top 5. But I think they pulled through. That running back, I think he's going up for Heisman.
Yeah, he is.
And you're taking the points on this one too?
Yeah, -3. I mean, you take -3 or money line. It'd be the same odds, really. Maybe the spread would be a little higher odds, maybe like 110, 120.
Yeah.
Take the money line, probably be like 150.
Gotcha.
So you go either or, how
Gotcha.
your gut feels. But it's -3 is a field goal. I mean, you don't really. I mean, you see games that are close-minded that win by a field goal, win by 2.
Yeah.
But My next one, I love this pick. It is away, Baylor. They are actually, their offense is hot right now. -6.5 versus TCU.
Yeah.
I'm not too big on TCU. I never have. Their defense is not really that good, and Baylor's offense have been. If you look at their games played, they have been putting up numbers. So I love Baylor -6.5 away.
What's the touchdown?
So I think that's money. And then my last one, I love Bama at home versus LSU 28.5.
Ooh.
I would ride that through because I've taken Bama's first half spreads before. They'll put up numbers, but then their defense will blow coverage one time, and it's just like But I mean, if you got the gut, it would probably be 13.5 first half spread, so 2 touchdowns. And the LSU, they're up and down. They're 4-4 this year, and they're coming to Bama.
Yeah.
So I think I love that.
Stingley not playing.
Right.
The best corners not
Quarterback's playing great. They got Bama has that great receiver.
playing. Yeah.
They run the ball. Defense is great. They just need to lock it in. Not blowing these coverages.
Yeah.
But I think they cover 4 through. Moving on to NFL.
Let's go.
So this one is a little tough. They did beat Minnesota with a backup quarterback, and they're saying Dak is fine. They actually said Dak could have played against Minnesota, but they hold him just for safety reasons. They played Denver home, -10. I love it.
No Von Miller, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, bye-bye to one.
Now Judy is back.
Judy been back for 2 games, though, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, I think he's back.
No, I think
last
he
week.
missed last week.
Okay.
Did he?
Or he came back
He came
last
back
week.
I think he came
Yeah.
back last week.
Okay. Bridgewater
Von
stinks,
Miller.
though.
I don't think Bridgewater's that good.
Bridgewater
Mr.
stinks.
Safe Man.
And they're playing at Dallas with Dak. That offense is hot.
It's 2 weeks in a row. He's been Cowboys, man. I'm getting a little nervous.
So you
I
taking
might need a DNA
Yeah,
test.
you gotta take
My
it
son picking the Cowboys, like.
taking
you
the
gotta take
boys?
the hottest team for money.
Yeah.
When money's on the line, you gotta take that hottest team.
You can't stop
Right.
Yeah.
I like the points, 10.5.
It is what it is,
Now, if
man.
you want to play safe, you take it down 9.5. Just in case they win by touchdown or field goal.
Yeah.
But I think they win by 2 touchdowns easily. I think so. Against
Okay.
Denver. Denver has been, they started off, 3-0, and I think
They
they
bad
lost.
teams, horrible teams.
They lost like the last 4 or 5.
Yeah. They're looking for a first round pick.
Right, oh, yeah.
Yeah, they look more quarterback. They gain assets.
Right.
To
They're
get a
trying to
quarterback.
Right, and then all their linebackers are hurt.
Yeah, yeah, they fall.
Trey
See,
Butler.
Land gonna go crazy then.
Right,
Zeke.
right. Dak loves that tight end, Schwartz, I think.
Yeah.
Moving on, I like the Saints. They just coming off beating the Buccaneers.
Hey.
Um,
Was Simeon quarterback? Playing quarterback?
versus Falcons, yes, and they're home. That's
Is
my
Matt
bad,
hurt?
actually.
Is
No.
Matt? You sure?
They just don't have no receivers.
No, I heard something about him hurting his hand last
So
week.
someone stepped on the left throw, on the
Yeah,
left
yeah.
non-throwing hand.
I know
Okay,
something about that.
okay,
Yeah. The
good.
right hand we throw was fine.
Okay.
Ridley's stepping down.
Yeah.
They don't really have good receivers, and
Just Pitts and
Saints
Patterson.
played great defense against that hot offense. Tampa Bay.
Oh,
Quarterback didn't look that bad. And it's the Falcons. They're looking for a draft pick. Probably looking to draft a quarterback, so they don't really want to win.
Yeah, how about that?
Saints with the points -6 at home. We got Mark Ingram back, so we got that 1 or 2 combo.
Kamara.
Yep, with Kamara. Yep. So yeah, I like the points home. Then moving on, I like the Bills away. 14.5 versus the Jags.
Oh.
Now Seattle wiped them last week, which I thought was disrespect of the spread of -3, and they beat them by like 30.
Yeah.
I don't see the Bills doing. I see the Bills doing the same thing easily.
Bills struggled a little bit
14.5.
last week against Miami.
Yeah, and for some reason they always play. They always
It's
play.
a
They
divisional
cover
game.
the
They were
Bills.
coming off of a
They
I
bye.
cover
expected
the-
that. I
they
expected
cover-
that.
And for some reason the Dolphins always gives them.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Buffalo they give
I
him
expected that.
But they did cover though. They did cover.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
That's all that
It
matters,
is
right?
14.5. I like the points. If you do want to play it safe, you take it at 13.5.
Right.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I might hit that thing at 12. Just,
Lower down to 12.
Yeah.
Moving on, I like the Ravens are coming off a bye. They're home versus the Vikings -6. Baltimore's hot. You know, you got to start. You got to stop Lamar Jackson. I think the Vikings defensive end is out for the year with a torn pec.
Yeah.
That injury sounds funny all the time. Torn pec.
But it's common though.
Right.
Yeah.
The muscle, you always stretching, especially linemen. That's real common among linemen.
So I like them with the points -6, and they're playing at home. Maybe a shootout, maybe just because those receivers, Thielen, Jefferson.
Yeah, Baltimore is having a problem against the pass this year.
Yeah, but
they shut down the Chargers right before they went on bye, so maybe
they
they got some things taken care of.
And it's Lamar, he can do passing, he can do run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Baltimore kind of got to get it rolling because Pittsburgh looking like they're trying to threaten them for that division a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore been on a roll.
I mean,
they smashed the Chargers before they went on.
I don't know. It's Pittsburgh. I think it's more Cincinnati.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm sorry.
Right,
yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah.
And then my last one, I like the Patriots versus the Panthers. 3.5. They are away. It's questionable if Sam Darnold's going to play because he has a concussion.
PJ Walker from Temple might start.
Yep. But Mac Jones has played phenomenal in these versus hard teams. And I'm not saying the Panthers are a hard team to beat. They do have Gilmore back, who actually had
revenge game. Stephon Gilmore revenge game.
Interception last week for his first game. But Mac Jones, I think Belichick pulls it out 3.5. Then that's easy. Yeah,
that's it.
Those all the picks. Let us know how your results are next week. DM us. Let us know how we going. We definitely gonna come back with a record. 11-5 wasn't bad for last week, so somebody wants some money.
Somebody had to put something somewhere.
Yeah, somebody won. I didn't.
And moving on forward with the NFL, Aaron Rodgers came out and tested positive for COVID. Kind of found out he wasn't vaccinated.
Right.
Wasn't vaccinated?
Yeah, he wasn't. Vaccinated. Excuse me. And he wasn't following all the protocol that you're supposed to follow with not being vaccinated. I want to ask y'all personally how y'all feel about the vaccination. And are y'all vaccinated? If y'all don't mind saying on camera.
Yeah.
I am, because I travel a lot, so I had to get it done.
Right.
Well, I can't get these stamps that I want on this passport.
Right.
So
I'm vaccinated. Due to my job, I got to, like you, I had to be around a lot of people. I'm on the front line. So I had no problem getting vaccinated. I'm waiting to get the booster shot for the Moderna. Whenever that comes out, I'm going to get the booster shot. I think that's just Aaron being Aaron, man. He thinks he's above things, right? We can go with the whole white privilege thing if you want to get real deep into it. He reminds me of a possible, Trumper, something like that don't believe in there. He's talking about I'm immunized. He was taking some kind of herbal tea, but that's his right. That's his decision for his life. But at the same time, the NFL did put in rules and protocols that if you're going to be part of that business, that you should take heed to. And he just felt he was above the law. Now he put the team in jeopardy.
now, see, that's the problem that I had with it. Because I feel like once you start signing these contracts to make these $1 million, they say you got to do X, Y, and Z. Then you got to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I don't care about how many touchdowns you threw for. I don't care about how many Super Bowl rings you
Right.
got.
And that just shows, and it almost kind of, to me, in my personal opinion, just shows his personal character, right? This whole thing he's been about myself. I mean, why do you want to leave the Green Bay Packers? Because they drafted somebody who they haven't even played yet? It ain't like it was the Eagles situation where Wentz started playing trash and now they want to put in Jalen Hurts. No, he won the MVP. He almost won the MVP last year. They were the #1 seed in the playoffs. Yeah. Why do you want to leave the Packers? It's because you felt personally that they don't respect you the way they do. So, and to me, that's just him being selfish. It's just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. There's no questioning his talent in between the white lines. But when you get inside that locker room, we all read the reports of him being aloof, him not really talking to nobody, him not really being cool with anybody outside of the line. Maybe a couple offensive linemen are cool with him. But other than that, he just sticks to himself and lives his own life. I guess you can't fault him technically, but when you're in a team sport and everyone's fighting for the same thing, you're supposed to be on the same page on everything. That's what makes a good team. That's what makes a good organization. So him saying he was, and actually not being one, and even threw a little shade in the media to some people who said that they weren't. He threw a little shade at them, knowing himself he wasn't. So a lot of stuff going on. I just think it's not a good look when you are the face of the organization and you are the leader of the franchise. I'm not a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. We all know I hate Tom Brady, right? But at the same time, Tom Brady said, look, I want to win another chip. Everybody on this team better get vaccinated. He walked in and told everybody on the team, to everyone to get vaccinated. That's the leader, right? That's what you do. You walk in there and you just demand, because he don't want no restrictions on what the team can do, right? He went through it last year. You can't practice. If you're not vaccinated, you're not really supposed to practice with your group. Your team meetings, you're supposed to be in a separate room and doing Zoom while everybody else that is vaccinated is together. You can't build the team chemistry that way. So Brady said, we're not going through that again this year. I'm getting vaccinated. I want everybody on the team vaccinated. So when we practice, we can practice the right way. We can go in meetings the right way. We can be together. We can see what everyone wants to do. Rodgers worried about himself. So to me, that feels like that's just Aaron Rodgers' move.
Yeah.
Pretty much you covered up everything I would pretty much have to say about that, because I kind of agree. You know, to each his own. If you're vaccinated, you are. If you're not, you're not.
Right.
If you're not, be honest and do what you got to do. Protect yourself and protect everybody else, especially in the profession that he's in. You know what I'm saying? So I think Aaron's a bit of a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's part of his DNA. This is a guy who thought that he could be an NFL star quarterback full time and host Jeopardy at the same time. So that tells you what kind of person he thinks he is. He thinks he's the best at everything he does. So it doesn't surprise me. I'm interested in seeing if the league is going to take any action against him, if they're going to suspend him. It's going to be interesting.
Right.
So, you know.
Now, how y'all feel about the vaccination thing worldwide? Because a lot of people have been calling in. I know it's not football related or sports related, but people have asked me how do we personally feel about the vaccination. Me personally, I always lived a high risk lifestyle, drugs, unprotected sex. I don't really, I did a lot of crazy stuff in my life. So the vaccination is really about nothing to me. It's just another thing I'm putting in my body. So I just was like, I signed up for it. I had a cousin, my best friend, he died from it back last year. So I was like, maybe if he was vaccinated, it might not have happened. I don't know. Right. So I signed up for it and I took it. Damn it, when the nurses had to take it. I was like one of the first people in my family to take it too. So
my belief is,
I was for it.
I mean, different backgrounds for everybody, different belief systems, so on and so forth. Me, I felt like I was in the worst percentile of the type of damage that the disease could do, right? Obviously, you see on camera, I'm overweight, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. So I know people of my size, my age, when we catch it, it affects us worse, right? Although I am healthy, the crazy thing is, I go get checkups, technically I'm healthy for a bigger guy, but I'm still a bigger guy, right? Respiratory issues can wipe me out quick. So when the vaccine became available, I had no problems going to get it, right? I made my mom get it, who's also overweight, you know what I'm saying, to make sure she got it, because I don't want to, elderly, overweight people, it wipes you out quick. I know too many people that got it that, still to this day, they might have survived it, but they still say they don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel right. So if there's anything that you can get to help prevent it or help lessen the severity of it, I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of medicine that they put in you when you're born that you don't have no decisions over that seem to be okay, right? So what was one more, right? I got the measles thing before I had anything, got the chicken pox shot, like all that stuff that they give you when you're born, you don't really have a say for the most part. So my personal opinion was, what's one more? If it's going to help me as an obese guy until I decide to get my own weight under control and so on and so forth, that's a different conversation with different thing. But if this will help lessen the severity, then I was all for it.
How you believe?
About the vaccination. Listen, again, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not going to be ashamed.
Oh shit.
Nothing with the mask.
No, but I'm not vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated for probably the main reason is probably a little bit of ignorance. Probably because I didn't do enough research on it. Didn't get vaccinated at first out of fear and all the other stuff. Yeah. But right now it's just probably more out of ignorance. I just ain't doing it right now, Yeah. And again, I'm not against it. Only thing I don't like the society got going on is like they're kind of putting each other against each other. It's either you vaccinated, you not, and oh, you're not vaccinated, why not, and all that. So I think it's a touchy subject with everybody, and I understand both sides. My mother, she got it. She almost checked out on me. I'm glad she made it. Right. My father had to get it. My father had 5 heart attacks. He's still alive, so I understand why you had to do it. I'm just, I just didn't do it.
Yeah, I think that's a problem in today's society anyway. I think we became so enamored with our own point of view being right. Like you can tailor everything in your life to your own point of view, right? You can go, you can select which news channel you want to watch, right? Whether you want to watch nothing but Fox or you want to watch nothing but CNN. If you want to be nothing but a Democrat or you want to be nothing, you can tailor your life around it. So that it has ruined society's way of blended thinking. Right? Like just because I feel like I should get the vaccine doesn't mean you're any less of a person to me for your beliefs on why not to get it. I should be open-minded enough to listen to you, to understand your reasons, and respect you for your opinion. Would I want everyone to get vaccinated? Sure, because my belief system says I think we can get back to our normal living capacity if we do. But I understand the reasons why. Let's keep it all the way above, right? I know I'm white, but I grew up in a predominantly African American neighborhood. I know too many African Americans that say your nationality or race is being used by the government for tests that are not healthy for you. So to try to convince a whole generation of people that the government has not benefited for, to try to convince them to go to our kind of way, it's not right. It's just not right. And I would be ignorant to my friends' feelings that I love as family to think that their belief system is not correct.
But I'm not going to front. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier about my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Some of these people that are so against the vaccine
Yeah.
was partaking in some of this high-risk behavior
Right.
that I was
Club
partaking
parties.
in. And I'm like,
Right.
we don't know what such and such mouth fed. He looked all over that blunt before we smoked it.
Yeah.
We don't know where these lines came from before we put them in
Yeah.
our body. It's like so much stuff that we done did that I'm like, yo, we could have been dead a million times. Why is the vaccine the pinnacle of health right now where everybody's fighting over getting it or not getting it? That's what I don't understand. I'm not for the vaccine for pushing somebody to do it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
If you don't want to do it, that's your own business. But I find a lot of people that once they find out that I am vaccinated, it's like, they're like, oh my God, you got vaccinated? Like,
Yeah.
how did you feel? And it's like, I'm not, it didn't make anybody melt as soon as
Right.
you got the needle in your arm. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's kind of almost, I have friends who kind of try to talk me out of it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't understand why you so anti or so pro
Right.
vaccine. I don't get it. I just feel like, I don't know if you and your wife are using condoms tonight. I feel like that's your business, and that's how I look at the vaccine.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And I look at it
Right.
like that type of question. I would never
Right.
ask you that.
Right.
So why is being vaccinated like the topic right now? I
Right.
I don't know what we got to do to even get to a common ground where it's not a problem no more. I don't even know.
I know we got to stop asking people. You know, you go somewhere, people.
Maybe.
I went on an interview today, and yesterday
Yeah.
they asked me if I was vaccinated. If I'm assuming that if you're not vaccinated, you're not gonna get a certain job. You know what I
That is
mean?
correct.
So
Yeah.
it's a thing that we shouldn't have to. You know, you don't ask nobody what their religion is. You know what I mean? So I don't walk up to a random guy and say, "Yo, what's your religion?"
Right.
So why should I be in somewhere and say, "Are you vaccinated?" You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit of an invasive question. Everybody presents it to you as though they're not going to be offended by it, but
Right.
if you're not going to be offended, why you got to ask?
But I'm not going to front though. I feel like as an employer, you might have a different obligation.
We have to.
That's
And I understand it.
I feel like
I'm
that's
an
different.
operations manager.
That's what I feel like that's
I run
different.
50 different job sites.
But I was talking about personally. I feel like
And I'm
business wise, it
responsible
is
for
what it
over
is.
So-
200. I'm
Yeah.
responsible for over 200 employees, right? I had to take utmost precaution because the reason why people ask it now is because this is not just a, hey, what belief system do you have? This is if you're sick, this quickly can come to me and you might
Right.
have it and it doesn't damage you. You know, you might be tired a couple days, but if I get it,
You might die.
I'm in a respirator with it.
Yeah.
So we all need to know. So you are correct. They ask you, are you vaccinated? Because it might be a site where the government has given down instructions
Yeah.
that every one of their people that work in their buildings need to be mandatory vaccinated. My son works for me. He's not vaccinated. I hope you don't mind me telling you. He's
I
not
was going to
vaccinated.
ask him anyway. I was going to
Right,
ask
you
him
know,
how
as
he
a
feels
20-year-old,
for his age
I'm not
demographic.
forcing him to get it, but I also told him, look, you are limiting the availability of where I can place you to work. Because as a subcontracted company that runs all these different job sites, if they tell us, hey, we only want vaccinated people in our building, I can't send you there. You're now losing money because you can't go to work.
Listen, it's so crazy. For my second business, I do construction on the side.
Yeah,
I've had customers ask me, are you and your crew vaccinated?
correct.
And I feel like they have a right to know whether or not, because I'm doing work for them.
Right, because you could bring it with you.
'Cause
Right?
when
if you believe in Allah or you believe in God, that doesn't mean nothing about you putting up that stucco in their house. You know what I'm saying? But if you and your partners bring COVID into their house and they have a child that catches it, right? That's my biggest worry. I want him to get vaccinated because I have a 13-year-old daughter that cannot get the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? So if she catches it, there's nothing else we can do. You know, if he wants to go out, he's 20. I want him to live his life. I want him to experience everything that a 20-year-old kid should, right? But at the same time, I know that's a risk because when you're that age, we all remember being that age. We were young, dumb, didn't care about nothing. We thought we were invincible. But if he brings it home to his sister and she can't get the vaccination and she is overweight like her dad, right? We are already taking steps on fixing that for her. But if she catches it, there is no medicine she can take, right? So it's one of those things where I feel like, although it is evasive and it should be your own personal choice whether to get it or not, I don't think any company is out the way of asking you.
And that's why I'm so conflicted, because I feel like personally it's your business, but I feel like when it comes to a business,
because it's health for you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm kind of leaning towards they have a right to know.
Look
They have a
what
right
happened,
to
right? So
enforce.
you have it, so you get it, right? You get COVID, you don't know you have it. You walk into her house, she catches it. Now she can't go to her job, or maybe she takes it to her job and spreads it to 4 other. It's just crazy, and that's why it's such a topic that will never go outside until we can finally get rid of it. Now, I'm not saying the vaccine will be the way to finally get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there has to be some kind of way that we have to get back to normalcy. And taking the vaccine, in my personal opinion, helps us get back to the closest thing to normalcy. Because we'll never be normal, right? We'll never be normal again. Because if you look at it, you know, us as Americans used to look at people in China that used to wear masks on for GB.
We would clown them.
We would clown them, right? But they knew over there, their dense population, the regular flu used to wipe out communities. Mm-hmm. So they used to get on the trains all bunched up with masks on, and we used to clown them. Mm-hmm. But now look at everybody now. They kind of knew it, although the disease came from over there. You know what I'm saying? Their medical practices were a little bit better than ours. So now the masks are never going away. There's some people now that are going to say, you know what? I haven't had the flu. I haven't had COVID. I've been less sick because I've been washing my hands more, using more sanitizer, and wearing the mask. I'm going to just keep on wearing the mask. Mm-hmm. So we're never going to go back to the same, but just the normalcy of being allowed to go places. We went to the Sixers game last week because it was an indoor stadium. We had to have our mask on.
I would ask you, how was that?
We had to have our mask on going on to the stadium, but we went to the Eagles game the same week. We didn't have to have a mask on because it was an outdoor stadium. So it's never going to go back the same. It's never going to be normal. You know, I just feel like eventually, hopefully, the vaccine will prove that it is healthy, so more people feel comfortable taking it, and then more people get it, and then hopefully, although it doesn't get rid of it, it prevents the spread of it. I think that's the biggest thing. If it helps prevent the spread of it, or even the ramifications of having it, hopefully people start to trust it and start to get it. So even if you do get it, you might not be as sick. You won't be as sick as maybe possibly just having a regular flu, right? A temperature for a day, a cough here or there, but that's about it.
Another question I got for y'all too, is while we on it. What do y'all think about Rodgers with this DUI?
Woo. You want to go first with that, H?
And what?
I just think he's dumb as shit.
First of all, they're
going
to
to
say,
okay.
I don't know.
Let's pay respect and condolences to the woman that lost her life.
Definitely.
Let's pay respect to her. Let's pay respect
and that's the main reason why I say he's dumb as shit.
Right.
You kill
Before we even
like,
touch the topic, all respects to her because she lost her life. Yes, Rodgers is stupid, but this young lady lost her life and all she was doing was driving down the street.
And with all due respect, we gotta give a little bit of respect to his family too, because we all understand drinking and driving is retarded. Yeah. But we also know you don't drink and intend to say I'm gonna kill somebody by getting behind the wheel.
Correct.
So he didn't intend that. But again, back to that, he's dumb. Yeah. I mean, what is he? First round pick.
First round pick.
Yeah.
First receiver pick over Jared Judy.
Right. So you're getting paid. You've been working your whole life to get where you at right now. You throw it all away for a moment when you have access. I think they can get somebody to pick them up.
The NFL has
a card
program.
Yeah, like
that will pick you up.
No, I experienced this firsthand.
Yeah.
In my family.
Yeah.
It's like the most dumbest thing you can do is to get behind a wheel and drive. I don't care if you're just a janitor at a local high school. It's the dumbest thing you can do because what happened? You could take somebody's life. Yeah. And it's normally when this happens, it's never the person that was driving that gets hurt.
It's the
never.
Did y'all see the video? I mean, we're not going to show the video.
My wife talked about the video.
I saw the video. The car, like, it was just, and he's sitting on the side, right? And he's concussed, so he's drunk and concussed, so he doesn't even really understand the ramifications. His girlfriend is worried about getting him help because he's passed out. There's a car in the middle of the street on fire. And all we've heard about the NFL player, right? So I just, so my thing is, I just don't understand.
He was driving 156.
On a Camaro down a residential street.
Yeah, so I don't know what
They were coming to the bar. That area is one of the easier strips to leave from the club area that he was at. Right. So it's a heavily populated area. But it was 3 a.m. It's in Vegas.
And you doing $150?
You're doing $150. Like, for what? Like you gotta. When you're a first rounder, you have a generation counting on you.
Not just a first rounder. When you're a human being, but when you're an athlete,
right?
It don't matter. First rounder, 12th rounder, you walk on. Like you're now on a bigger platform. You're doing better than the average man.
No, I'm just saying the people like his family. Yeah, like, he has a whole he was about to make generational wealth.
Change their life.
Right, to change their life. Mm-hmm. You telling me there's not a cousin, an uncle, someone that just travels with you that does the stupid shit that you want to do, that can do the driving, that can do the holding the gun. Holding the weed, like whatever your vice is as an athlete, because we all know, man, it's hard being an athlete. And sometimes you're young, you got money, you just want to let loose and celebrate and have fun.
You're human.
You're human, right. So go do that. It was your off day, right? You just got a big dub. They just, you know what I'm saying? It was a bye week for them, right? The bye week. So you was enjoying yourself.
Let me ask you something. Now I'm going to cut you off. This is the question that a lot of people do you think these athletes are pampered? They entitled? Because a lot of them do a lot of stuff and feel like they should get away with it. Like, you know what I mean?
But
they're
pampered and entitled, but what else are they? They are taught that they are indestructible, right? They are machines. Like an athlete is a machine. Like you do all this stuff in your mind. Like all week long, you're training. You are the top of the world athletically at your you know, whatever you do. This dude is sprinter speed, right? He feels like he's indestructible because that's the way you've been built. That's your mind state. Because you can't just be you can't just be some regular guy in the NFL.
I think they're spoiled, man. You can't.
I mean, yes,
you
but
can't
at
talk
the
to
same
them
time,
a certain way. Get all
but they're
emotional.
young.
The average person, we say all these things.
But
You know, we gotta live by these
they're
dudes.
They're young and they think they can get away. There's stuff that we did when we was younger that if you look back you wouldn't do now.
No, I agree with
It
that.
wasn't because you were spoiled. It was because you was young and you didn't know better. You thought better. You think you can.
Yeah, but some of these guys keep doing the same things.
I think some of it is the ramifications aren't stiff enough.
They don't get dealt with how me and you get dealt with.
Yeah.
I mean,
for one main reason, the money. But just regularly, they don't get dealt with like us. So I look at them. It's a culture of all sports. These dudes do all kind of crazy stuff. If I beat up my girl at the Philly Stadium or outside of Boston like Brett Myers did back then, I get 2 to 3.
Yeah.
They get a slap on the hand and they better go apologize and let me go speak for domestic violence. Man, get out of here. Yeah. This boy, Starworth killed somebody, man. He killed somebody. If I did the same thing, we wouldn't be having this podcast today.
I don't know.
That's a fact.
I don't know.
It's a fact.
He didn't just blatantly run somebody over.
I'm not saying he did.
So I don't want to discredit that person's life either. But there was things to that report that it was really the pedestrian's fault.
Was he drunk?
I don't think he was above the legal limit of being drunk. The person jaywalked and came out in the middle of the street where they shouldn't have been at. Now, if he was not drinking, would he have better
that's
reaction
another.
time?
What about Greg Hardy?
Oh no, I'm with you there. And I was in Charlotte at the time that was happening. So I lived through all that. I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff these boys do.
I think the money definitely get them.
But that's American in general. That's not just athletes. If you have money, you have access to better legal representation.
No, I get that, but
it gets you out of situations.
The athletes are the ones we're talking about. I think they spoiled because they have the money and then the entitlement growing up. Everybody sucks, kiss their ass, look up to them. What you do? They got nothing but yes men around them, so they feel like, I'm gonna do this, and shouldn't nobody say nothing to me. And if I make a mistake, I shouldn't be treated like H. I should be treated better than H because I am such and such.
But I don't think that goes into a decision of something like what Rodgers did. I just think he was young. He was young. He felt he could go, and that wasn't going to happen.
But I still think it's a mentality because he's entitled. Why do you feel like you're Superman that you can go ahead and get drunk and not use the service that the NFL provides for you to get a ride home?
Because you're young and dumb.
And you're entitled. You're
young.
spoiled. I mean, the best. I gotta show off my truck as I pull off.
But being entitled gives you the access to the NFL program. That's not, you know what I'm saying? He decided not to use it because he was young and dumb and felt he could do it himself.
Young and dumb, obviously, but I still think it's a whole group of NFL players that are spoiled kids. Their whole life they've been catered to, dog. But the hood protects these.
But that's what the NFL does.
What's up with the dude that played ball from the hood we from? What we do? We make sure nothing happens to them, right? They don't get involved in none of the street shit. We make sure nothing happens. Right. They take that to high school. What happened to high school? They dumb as a brick.
Yeah.
At the school, make sure they pass.
I coach high school football. I know.
You get to college. It's the same thing.
Correct.
So it's like with that mentality, your whole life that you've been a pup, you are spoiled because you feel like everything is going.
But the spoiling didn't stop in the NFL because they were giving them more options to stay out of trouble than what they would give.
But because they're spoiled brat since they were a pup, it just makes everything else worse. So the fact that you are young and dumb comes from the fact that you never had to mature because you've been spoiled and everybody's been laying a pillow when you fall your whole life. These balls are not me and you, cuz. We can't afford.
Are you telling me you don't know when they got drunk and sped down the highway, down C Street?
Oh man, I've done it.
Oh, you're right. But you're not spoiled. But you did it.
But I feel like
you're taking it.
But I learned
my lesson. I can't do it twice.
Well, Russell's gonna learn his lesson too. He ain't playing. He ain't walking the streets no more.
Some of these athletes have done things multiple times. You're in the same fraternity, so you see the boy do it. So why you gonna do it? You understand what I'm saying? I gotta learn my lessons on life on my own. I wasn't following him, but I did what I did, and I had to learn from him. Right. I don't get the same second and third chances these boys get, so I gotta get it right. I mean, Ruggs. Let's take Ruggs put to the side. There's a bunch of other athletes that done a lot of bullshit.
But it's
that's,
not-
that's spoiled, cuz.
But
And
it's
they
not.
get
But
away
it's,
with it.
what I'm trying to say, it's not just athletes. It's money.
Yeah, but we're
because
talking
there's-
about sports
there's-
though. We're
there's
talking
right.
about sports.
But
I'm not talking about nothing.
okay.
Because we can take that into rappers. Lil Wayne get caught with a gun, get 9 months. I get caught with a gun, got 5 years. So of course it's money.
Right.
But right now we're talking about sports, and I think sports players are spoiled. I think they're a bunch of babies in every sport. I think they're a bunch of babies who've been caught their whole life, and they feel like they're above the laws sometimes.
Correct.
They're above everybody else. And with that
to me,
mentality,
that's being young and dumb.
I mean, whatever
Because
you want
the
to call it, but I
NFL
still call it
tried-
spoiled.
the NFL
You want to call it
tried
young
to-
and dumb? I agree on that, but
The
you want to
NFL
say young and dumb, but you don't want to admit to them being spoiled.
No.
I'm gonna say they're young and dumb and they're spoiled.
You're missing the point.
They're
They are spoiled.
Okay,
Because
well,
the
we
NFL is giving them more options.
Besides that, for NFL, they've been spoiled. Forget the NFL,
I know
guys.
that.
Rodgers ain't been spoiled since he was 5.
Huh?
Rodgers been spoiled his whole life.
Okay.
So I'm talking about sport. Forget the NFL, what they provide. Forget what the NBA provide. MLB, NHL. I understand the riches they provide.
So him
I'm
being
still
spoiled
stuck
made him
with
spoiled.
AI is
being
spoiled.
on the
AI
street.
been
I think the mentality is different because you just feel like nothing ain't gonna happen.
Nothing
to you.
gonna happen.
But that's being young and
Because
dumb.
that never happened to
That
me,
ain't the
because
first
I've
time he
been
did it.
spoiled.
It's the first time he killed somebody.
I wasn't
Yeah.
spoiled. I was far from spoiled. How fast did I
You
drive
can't compare
on-
your life to
Hold on.
his, cause you're not on that level.
Okay.
We're not talking about average Joe. We're talking about athletes.
But what are you trying
My
to say?
statement is that
So he only split because he was spoiled.
No.
That's what you're trying to say.
I said the mentality of young athletes are
Okay.
spoiled. So they're entitled. So they do a lot of dumb shit
Okay.
because they're spoiled.
But they don't do nothing that us regular people don't do either. They
We're
just
not
don't get in
comparing it
trouble.
though. We're not talking about regular people. We're talking about athletes.
The
He brought up-
ramifications are different.
They're different. We're not talking about us. We're talking about athletes, guys.
Okay.
If we're talking about
Yes,
normal
they're
people,
spoiled and they're rich
That's
and
all.
they're young and they're
That's
dumb.
it, then.
But what's the
We're
point
not
that you're
talking
trying
about-
to make? There was no
my point is that athletes are spoiled.
Okay,
That's my point.
That's not an argument. That's not a
I
debate.
didn't say it was. It wasn't a debate. He asked me a question, right?
What is
And
the question you asked?
I said that
You went far away from the
No, I
question.
said I think that athletes are spoiled, guys.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
I think they get away with a lot because they spoiled.
Yes,
So
that's
there
true.
is no debate.
That's true.
That was my choice. That's it. Like you, oh, they're young. Okay, I know they're young and dumb, but they're still spoiled.
Because we were talking specifically
spoiled.
about the Ruggs incident.
Right.
And you said he
He's
spoiled
spoiled.
young and
It's a
dumb.
mentality.
This is why he sped and crashed into the
That's
back of
not
the
why
car.
he sped because he was fucking. He died. He did it because he was drunk.
Right. Young
Why
and
he
dumb.
not? Why he not in the car? He could say young and dumb, whatever.
Young and dumb.
But I still think he's spoiled.
He
I would
is,
never,
but
you know.
but the incident happened because he's young and dumb.
Right.
Right? Like how many times I go 120 on the
Stop
highway
comparing
driving from
yourself to
Charlotte?
these athletes. We're not talking about us. Soup didn't ask about the average Joe.
He did.
We're talking about.
He said, "What did you think about the Ruggs situation?"
That's not average
and that
Joe.
lady is dead because he was young and dumb
But
and
Ruggs
was drunk
is not-
and got behind the
Ruggs
car.
is not the
Instead
average
of
human
taking
being.
access, instead of taking
Right.
accountability and using the NFL's platform to getting somebody a Lyft, Uber, a personal limousine, instead of doing all that, he decided to get behind the car. He was young and dumb. It has nothing to do with being spoiled. He's just young and dumb
Right, man.
and thought he could drive
Young and
himself.
dumb, you're right. We're gonna leave it at that. So these athletes
Because
ain't
being
spoiled.
spoiled-
They just all young and dumb.
No,
Every
he is
athlete is all
spoiled.
young and dumb.
But
We're
it's
gonna leave it at that.
a point-
What's the next topic? Cuz? All athletes are no athlete is spoiled.
Yes,
They're all
they
young and
are.
dumb.
But if
Okay.
he wanted to act spoiled, he would have took advantage of the NFL's ability to
Not
get
all
him out of
ways.
that
He's
situation.
cocky at the same time.
Because he's young and dumb.
Oh man. I get
If
what you're
Soup
saying.
is telling
I
you-
understand what you're saying, but for some reason you want to pick apart what I'm saying and you refuse to just say.
I'm
You know what I
sitting
mean?
here telling you,
Like, all right.
he's spoiled.
What's the next topic?
He's
cuz?
spoiled. But the question was, what do you think about Ruggs? Ruggs'
Gotcha.
situation was he's young and dumb. Instead
Bad decision.
of using NFL's capability of driving him home so he can get as shit faced as he wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
he decided to get behind the wheel of his own car, and now some young ladies.
But my thing, I don't know why it keep happening though.
Because they feel like they're indestructible. As a young athlete, you feel like you can go through anything and nothing will happen to you. It's for the same reason why most of the young folks won't get vaccinated. They feel like the vaccine, they feel like the disease won't hurt them because they're young and dumb. While us older people that have lived through things said, you know what? If that disease catch me, it might fuck me up something fierce. Let me go get the vaccine. You lived through your wild times. You know how wild you are. So the first thing in your mind that told you to do was what? I need to go get that vaccine because if it's going to help me go through my wild times, then I'm good, right? So these young athletes, they feel like they can't lose anything because they have been coddled all their life and they've been told that they can succeed in anything that they do because their specialty is a sport, but they carry it over to their real life. So I can get drunk and drive. I can speed and nothing will happen to me. I can do drugs and nothing will happen. We all know Stephen A. Smith, right? Stay off the weed, right? Because the league tells you you can't be on it. but they feel like they're indestructible. They're young and dumb, so they're going to do what they want to do because they are spoiled. But this is what happens when you have young people with money, with no life experiences. They feel like they can succeed in anything they do. We all know experience is the best teacher. There's certain things you do that you wouldn't do now that you did when you was 20 because you know the ramifications and the repercussions. When we see little kids with a cup of juice, we're like, yo, don't put it on the table right there. Because we know as an adult that shit can spill and stain your carpet. But as a 4-year-old, they don't understand the ramifications of spilled juice on a white rug. You know what I'm saying? So when you're young, you feel like you're indestructible, and this stupid shit starts happening all the time.
Is it athletes with money, or is it athletes from the hood with money?
It's
There's a bunch of white athletes in the league that this don't happen to. I don't hear too many white dudes just crashing, they bang out their cars, beating up their girls. Don't get me wrong, it happens, but it seems like it's only affecting the black people. Every time a black athlete got some money, he did something dumb. Whether he get caught up in a murder, he get caught with a gun, he get caught with a DUI, he get caught with this. So is it athletes in general, or is it athletes from the hood who finally get a bag, who been spoiled and don't know what to do with their money and just make the wrong decisions? Because, like I said, I don't see these white boys doing it like that. I don't see these white boys carrying like that when they get their bag. Black boys get their bag, and now it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm bringing 30 dudes from the hood with me.
Okay.
We up in the joint, we blowing. You know what I'm saying? They do a lot of dumb things, and it's, you know, I don't know.
Where does that come from, though? That comes from financial literacy.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
that
of course, because they come from
a different upbringing.
From
a different upbringing, right? So they were taught different things growing up.
So there was no poor white people who came up and got no bag?
I'm not saying that, but it's a culture, right? It's a culture, right?
Gotta be.
See, because so yes, there's trailer park white folk. There's white slum people that made the pros, right? A lot of offensive linemen come from trailer parks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that. But just what you was taught as younger of what being successful is, or what having something means, right? We all know it. Like, look at Bill Gates. He's rich. You would never think he's the richest man in the world. But look at Steve Harvey. He got a lot of money. You know it. Why? The suits is right. The hats is right. The shoes is right. Bill Gates don't give a shit nothing about that. It just goes back to years and years and generations of financial literacy.
And that's not never going to change. That ain't never going to change.
And not until a generation's way of thinking changes.
Yeah, but it's like we just want cars and we want.
Then why is that? Because you always. No, it is true because as generations. As generations in the past, your ancestry believed that just having something shiny was making it because you guys never had nothing.
Yeah.
See, my ancestors were taught to have land, right? You guys were happy to come inside the house.
Yeah.
Right? We own the house that you guys were happy to be inside of. So it's generational. It goes way further back. And until that is changed, right? Until there is a way of thinking, until black people are looked as equals in this country by people that look like me, that'll never change. Which is why it's so important that we blend people together and open it up to experience. Because I know so many white people that don't even understand what black people went through because they just never had no experiences with black people. Right? And so until their way of thinking is changed, until people can come together and black people don't look at the shiny chain as being the thing to have, that having a piece of land is really what will change my kids' life. That's when change will really happen.
Or get the chain in the land.
So you'll get the chain, right? You'll get the chain in the land. Because not only will you have the chain, the next one down when you have a chain, and the next one after that will have a chain. Which is why I said it's fucked up for Ruggs, because he had the opportunity to change a whole generation of people in his family that won't have to go through what he went through.
And I just feel bad because it happens so often, man. He ain't the first or the last.
Correct. He definitely won't be the last.
But I just hate the fact that it's always happening in our community. Again, like you said, it's a mindset. Education to change everything. If we get educated, obviously we change the way we think. Instead of getting the car, we get the land. But it's a mindset, man. Because every young dude that's coming up, they doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not making it a race thing, but I watch these white boys come up. They get their baseball money. They do their thing, and they don't have these issues, guys. No. They don't have these issues. That's just, you know.
That's a wrap for this week, y'all. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
All right.
How about it?
All right.